Okay, so Veti guide part 1. Basically what I'm gonna do in this part is I'm gonna explain the basics of this faction, the fundamentals of how they work, and their unique mechanics. So the first thing, they expand with the caretaker here. This is your expansion unit. You can deploy it anywhere to get build radius. Then you can also undeploy it and keep repositioning it. So this is how you expand. This is your economy unit. You also have the enlightened, which is your second resource. So these basically are like zombie units that you get from infecting enemy infantry and transforming them into enlightened once they die. It's called subjugation, but you can just zombies, just for easier to say, for me at least. And then what you want to do with these in the beginning of the game is put them inside the caretaker, because your tech structure is called the anchor, which only the caretaker can deploy. So that's this tower. This tower function is it boosts the MCV or any building it's attached to, and this boost does different stuff depending on the building. And this tower is also your tech structure. So how does this work? Basically, this tower at the moment is tier 1, because it only costs 1 enlightened to make one tier 1 tower. Then if you want to get this to tier 2, you basically have to sacrifice 5 enlightened to upgrade it. And then 10 for tier 3, and that's how you unlock your tech units. And it also increases the boost each tech. So at the moment, this is boosting build speed by 10%. It's gonna be 20 if you upgrade it, and then 50 for the MCV at tier 3. Of course, numbers vary from like one building to another one, but yeah, this is basically your tech structure. Every game, you start with Veti, you want to build one of these anchors next to your MCV immediately so you can boost production, and then you can decide to upgrade it if you want. Then you can boost more tech, which we'll get into eventually. So that's the first thing. Second thing we want to talk about is the expansion. So let's, for example, assume I have this field, which I honestly don't, but just for the sake of the argument. Then I have this refineries over here. I want to take this expansion. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deploy my caretaker. Then I'm gonna build a power plant, and that's how you expand. Like every time, every time you expand on any field, you always build a power plant first, because this allows you to basically unpack your caretaker and move, and you still get to keep the build radius. After you build the power plant, you can put the refineries on the edges of the field like this. Then they can grab Tempest. As you can see these dots. These basically show how much Tempest pods the refineries are grabbing. So you can put them in the back like this. Then they grab these fields. So this is basically how you expand. So let's say I have this expansion. I want to take this expansion. I'm gonna deploy my caretaker. Gonna build a power plant. Let's wait for this refinery. I'm gonna unpack my power plant, and then I'm gonna leave. And then once this is built, I can deploy a refinery. You can also put towers here, for example. Now this is completely optional, it's just a boost. Once you put this anchor, you can choose to boost the power, which as you can see gives me more power, or I can choose to boost the refinery, which gives you more income, but as you can see I lost the boost on the tower. Now once this anchor is level 2, you can boost 2 structures, and once it's level 3, you can boost 3 structures. It's very simple. It might be confusing at first, but it's very simple. You can keep getting these enlightened and then putting them inside anchor to upgrade them. One way to get enlightened quickly, which I'll showcase, is to capture neutral buildings. So Veti generally likes to capture every neutral building they can, even ones that you usually wouldn't capture with other factions. So if you're playing GTF now, you probably would take these 2 spikes and that's it. But if I'm playing Veti, ideally I want to take these 2 spikes and this garage as well. Why? Because every building you capture gives you 2 of these enlightened, which can help uh, make more anchors, speed up your tech, etc. Okay, let's say, again, I'm gonna expand here. Power plant, same thing, same expansion. So this is basically how you build up your economy. You always want to keep your refineries in the back, always in the back like this. There's another way to put your refineries, which a lot of people do, which I think is completely wrong. It can be used sometimes, which is they deploy the caretaker in the middle of the field, and then they put the refinery like this. An issue with this is, first of all, you don't have build radius near the refinery, so you cannot protect it. That's the biggest issue, honestly. A second thing I think is bad is when you have your buildings clumped up, it tends to be easier to defend one point, which also goes back to the build radius, which is slightly different. But you get the idea. Like, you need to have clumped up buildings, so I can put a turret here, put a turret here, have all my buildings over here, and then everything is protected. Now I'll quickly show you the 2 enlightened you get from capturing neutral structures. So if I capture this TPC, there you go. You get 2 enlightened. I get 2 enlightened from here. I get 2 enlightened from here. You can put these inside your caretaker. Where's my caretaker? To build more anchor towers. You can also build these anchor towers inside of Tempest Field, which I honestly also don't recommend doing. Or you can put them inside the anchors here, so you can take up. As you can see, I have 6 enlightened. I only need 5. 5. If I put these 5 inside this anchor, it upgrades. I'm gonna build the power here. At the moment, the level 1 anchor can only connect to one structure. As you can see, I'm switching. I cannot connect to both. When this is level 2, you'll be able to connect to both of these at the same time. So that's one way to do it. Again, 2 more enlightens. You can put them here. Get more towers going. Whatever you need. Maybe upgrade this one if you want. They're all viable options, basically. Then I build the power plant. I unpack my caretaker. I leave. Once this is done, I have the build radius. I can build my refineries. This is level 2 now. It's connected to 2 buildings, as you can see. It gives different boosts. This one, 30% more XP, 20% more burn speed, and that's how you tech. So for example, I'm gonna build a radar now. This is Veti's radar. It's called Veti's Eye, basically equivalent to Dynasty's radar or GDF uplink. So that's how we get more units. Let's quickly look at the barracks. You can see I have these units. Waiting for the radar to finish. Again, gonna expand here. Same thing, same principle. You're just gonna repeat all game. I'll show you the tech now. Can also get these enlightened back to show you the tier 3. Now I get the very eye. I built this building. I did not connect it to the anchor, and I got this unit. Yeah, so that's a tier 2 unit. But if I connect the anchor to this very eye, now I get this unit. So some tech units are locked behind anchors connected to the tech building. Now some aren't, like the Revenant, but the Golem is connected. And same goes for the War Factory, same goes for the airfield. So you need to have upgraded anchors, like tier 2 and tier 3, to unlock the specific units that you want. Make sense? I guess it does make sense. Also, some support powers are locked behind these anchors being connected to buildings. So for example, now my barracks is not connected, so I lose the Tempest Ward, which is at the moment one of the best Veti support power, and honestly one of the best support powers in the game, arguably the best. If I reconnect it, I get it. So managing these anchors is super important. Now, quick showcase. I mean, I guess that does make sense, but where's my caretaker? There we go. As you can see, you need to keep adding enlightened to this building to get it to level 3, which I'm just gonna put. You can rally point the MCV to the anchor, by the way, or the caretaker, for example. It just makes it slightly easier, so you don't have to actually manually keep putting every unit. So the next enlightened that's gonna come out of the MCV is gonna go to the anchor on its own. It is convenient. Now, one more thing I'd like to talk about in this part of the guide is like some perks that Veti has. So as you can see, look, this goes out, this goes here. Simple. Makes sense. Okay. So one more thing I want to talk about. Veti does have some unique perks that is attached to their units and is around the enlightened unit, which I'll talk about. So let's make some of these. This is a good unit to showcase with. And then the perk I wanted to mention is arcing. So some very units and structures like the power plant, which is another reason you always want to expand with the power plant or power vault, whatever it's called, is the arcing. What this does is if a unit attacks this building within a specific radius, like while the unit is close to it, it basically gets retaliation damage. So how this works is, as you can see, this is tier 3 now, it's connected to 3 building. Now you can connect it to any other, you can also teleport it away. Teleporting is a big part of Veti that I didn't mention yet. So it's a support power, so that's why I didn't mention it. I'm going to talk about it more in like support powers. But you are not like basically you don't have to have all the tech here. So for example, if I wanna have this tech on my barracks, I can just teleport it here. So it's actually flexible. Like you don't need to be constrained to one location. So as you can see, there you go. So it's not like the mechanic is not bad. It's not constricting. It's kind of cool, you know, because it's fluid. You can choose what buildings you want to boost at what time. So okay, back to arcing. So and sacrifice after arcing. So I'm going to attack this power plant when I am outside of the range of arcing. As you can see here, at the moment arcing has 1700 range. This unit has 2500 range. So if I attack it, look at my unit. It's fine. It's gonna damage it. If I get close to it and attack it, now my unit takes damage every time it attacks it. And it's not like the damage this unit takes doesn't depend on the damage it does. It's a fixed number. It's 20. Like regardless of how much damage this deals. So as you can see, this is a very cool mechanic. This makes killing very power plants much more difficult, especially with short range units. It just gives them the extra basically fight back to their buildings, which helps defend the expansion. So that's pretty cool. Okay. The last mechanic I want to talk about is sacrifice. Now I've talked about how you use these enlightened to boost your tech, like we upgrade the anchors. Now there's the other use, which is actually in my opinion more important, is the sacrifice. What sacrifice does differs from one unit to another one. So for example, for this unit that uses ammo, the Revenant, as you can see, if I attack this MCV, it's depleting the ammo, it's reloading ammo as well. It will eventually deplete. This is a really good unit, so there you go. And then it has to stand still. It cannot fire anymore before it loads. But if I click this button, which is sacrifice, it sacrifices one of these guys, and it instantly reloads all my ammo, as you can see. And it also allows you to reload passively quicker. Another buff it gives, and this buff is like constant for all units, like disregarding if they have ammo or not. So for example, this guy doesn't have ammo. It increases their defense by 15%, and it increases their speed by 30%. So how do you use this in fights, for example? Let's say I don't have this. So some units subjugate the enemy units. For example, the Seeker, once you get this doctrine, as you can see here, it basically subjugates. That means if it kills a unit, okay, it becomes enlightened. So while you're fighting, in the middle of a fight, you'll get these guys. And how you use them, let's say I am fighting here. You can click the B hotkey, and then you basically boost your look, it becomes much faster, and it takes 15% less damage. This is a super crucial mechanic, especially with ammo units, because for Veti, a lot of Veti units use ammo, and the ammo takes forever to reload. Like, it actually takes forever. If you don't use sacrifice, the faction might seem really weak, but it's only you not utilizing the mechanics of the faction. So you always have to keep sacrificing your units. Now some units help with sacrifice, which I'll get to in another part, but it's just same principle. If I'm using this guy, if I'm attacking here, even before he depletes his ammo, I wanna sacrifice. Why? Because he's still gonna reload quicker. As you can see, look at the reload bar. He's also gonna move quicker. So it's an insane tool around. You have to use it in every single game. So I think this covers very basics, like the very basics. In next part, I'll probably talk about like your opener, what to do in the early game, and how to actually play the faction. Mostly in like tier one matchups, and what do you want to do? What's your goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve? Do I beat this faction in tier one? Do I want to tech, etc.? So I guess that's about it for now. Yep.